After Formula One visited Hungary this weekend, I thought it'd be quite fun to just give it a go, see how we get on, and take the KTM crossbow out there. First of all, let's take this absolute spaceship. In fact, let's have a quick look at it. This absolutely mental looking car, the KTM crossbow. It's hampered slightly a little bit by ballast. The regulations have added way more ballast than feels necessary, to be honest. So it's not necessarily a car that I'd recommend online, but it's an awful lot of fun to drive, and just to look at it, it's just insane. So I do love this car. I especially love the way that front windscreen flips down on top of you when you start. So huge amount of fun, this thing. So let's take it out for a hot lap. It is actually the first car I've come across where I can't handle it with the aggressive setup. I'll take it out. Let's just load up. So we'll take it out with the aggressive setup. I don't think it'll be very long before we see why I've decided to go with safe setup with this thing. It's quite tail happy, under braking, and in the look at that. It's awesome. Right, so let's get this thing off the line. It's also quite problematic getting this thing off the line. Really got to play the clutch. More so in race mode than in hot lap, to be honest. It really doesn't want to turn in, but then you hit the brakes and it really does. I'm going to shift the brake balance forward quite a bit, because already at quite a slow speed I was losing the back end on the brake in there. There. Tires are locking up. You can see I've already had a crack with this thing. Consider this a warm-up lap just now while I get my eye in. Okay, I'm locking up a little bit. I might have to dial the brake bias back slightly. And there, lift off oversteer. It's just, I think there's roll bar settings need tweaked as well. So bear in mind, we're not really going for it here, and I'm already having to save the back end. So that ghost that I'm following is actually the safe setup, which I've always considered to be the slowest. But with this car and my skill set, I suspect it's fun. I'll give it that. Jesus. No.
Your lap time is regulated. Please try to stay on
And there we go. Okay, so that is why I personally feel I just can't handle this on aggressive. I think maybe I can find something in between safe and aggressive, but for now, just for the sake of time, really, I'm going to go with safe. It feels reasonably planted, still doesn't want to turn in, but the back end doesn't want to spin out either. So we'll go with I switched it off. Yeah, so we'll go with safe. Let's get this. Do you find it quite difficult to get off the line? Specifically this car. McLaren was no trouble. I was playing with a Porsche 911 and that was no trouble. Alright, let's see how much more planted this is and safe. Let's see if I can get near or beat my ghost. Just dial the brake bias back a little bit. Really doesn't want to turn in under braking. Just feels like all the weight is on the back. which is probably true. So I'm losing my ghost already. That's invalidated. It's fine. Just consider this a warm-up for getting used to the safe setup again. But already, you can see I've not had anywhere near, well, not had any moments at all. I had to brake quite hard there and it didn't step out. So I think it's definitely possible to tweak this thing to be more planted and more pointy. The base setup is in aggressive mode. It's too much for me, at least. Maybe some more skilled drivers can deal with it. And safe setup is very, very safe. So there's some kind of middle road to be had, I think, setup wise. Well, let's see if I can get a good drive out here. Go and dial brakes back a bit. Okay, let's see if we can get a decent drive out here. Very slightly ahead. I actually trail brake slightly with that brake bias setup. Reasonable. Try and get through here from chat. Okay, I've got a problem corner coming up, not helped by the ballast on this car. It's all to do with the balance of power system that's used in GT racing, trying to equalize the power to weight ratio. And this thing is such a beast that they've added a huge amount of ballast to it. But it doesn't really feel fair. It feels like it's absolutely destroyed the handling characteristics of the car. It's fun to drive, but it's just, there's so much momentum going through these corners. One plus point, though, is that all that weight and the extra ride height of the GT4s means that you can really thump the curbs. For the most part, anyway. Okay, this is a good lap. I lost a few tenths at the end there, but I'll take that. 157.576. That's a good hot lap. Okay, so with the hot lap out of the way, I'm going to do a quick race. Now, cards on the table. For these 10-minute quick races, I only have the opponent's skill at fairly low level. I'm normally kind of in the 95s, or I should be in the 95s for the endurance races. So I'm not quite at the 100% mark yet, but I'm getting there. I'm improving, because even that level was quite difficult for me to start with. So the reason I do that is it's only 10 minutes. And if I have it up at 95, I'll be spending all 10 minutes trying to get past one car, and that's not necessarily the best viewing. So it's mainly for purposes of making videos, but also it helps with my essay rating, because I'm trying to pass things cleanly, which is why I've got aggressiveness down at the moment. I'm trying to get my passing my essay rating up. It's up to 53 at the moment, so it's starting to work for me. And also, it's good practice. It's good practice for racing people online. If they're slower than you, you need to be able to be prepared to react to people braking early and in the wrong place and all that kind of stuff. So is actually quite good, I think. I'm finding it quite good doing these little sprint races with this kind of AI. Well, you know, passing cars is fun. So why wouldn't I do it? But yeah, when I'm doing endurance races, I do move the skill level up. But, you know, I don't put those up on YouTube because that's like boring 60-minute race for anyone who's not actually racing it. Okay, right, let's take this thing and race it. So hopefully that's demonstrated at least that it is quite drivable if you use the safe preset. If you're having trouble with the KTM, consider dropping to the safe one. Right, let's go to setup, safe preset, fuel strategy. I've kind of worked out that, I mean, actually, I think 17, 18 is a decent level of fuel. So 10 minutes too. So yeah, that'd be way more than enough, but I just want to give myself a little bit of margin. Right, start from the back.
Stay in double file.
It's even more difficult to get this thing off the line in this mode, just because it kind of puts a limiter on at the start to stop you from burning past people. And it just doesn't, it wants to, come on, that's better.
Low tire pressure. Stay clear of the curbs.
It'd be fine if you're not using a clutch. If you've got it to do the clutch for you, then you'll have no problems, but...
Green light. Give it all you can.
Right, let's see how we go.
Car on the
Gonna
right.
have to be...
Clear on the right.
I'm just waiting for the brake test.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Yeah, here we go. There's still going to be a brake test here.
Slow car ahead.
Let's see if I can get around
Car
the
on the
outside
right.
here.
Clear on the right.
Nah.
Car on the right.
Yeah, slap on the
Clear
wrist.
on the
There
right.
it is. You just really feel it doesn't have the same acceleration out of corners as the other cars. And you can feel it in the corners themselves. It's just so much weight. Jesus. And then, you know, you put fuel in it as well, and that makes it worse.
Car on the left. Clear on the
It was a
left.
bit leery.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the
Oh,
left.
around the outside. Did put me on a weird line for that corner, so just want to, if at all possible, see that SA rating going up, or at the very least not going down.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
What? I'm not shift pad. What the pits? Well, that was weird. Right.
Car on the right. Clear on the
The big
right.
advantage that it does have with all that ballast is that you can really thump those curbs more than the other cars can.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Okay. And that's probably illustrated best here, to be honest. Really stable through this sequence, as long as you don't give in to momentum and slide to the outside.
Clear on the left.
That's compromised me. That's a flat out corner, that. I have to slow down for him.
Car on the left.
Stupid Alpine driver. Probably try that next, to be honest. It looks quite fun. Okay, and I'm up against a crossbow now. I nearly lost the back end there. Head off. Was it an Alpine or was it a Porsche? It looks different from the front.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Please excuse the noise. We've got some really noisy grass cutting people. Seem to be coming around our house about 3 times today. That's very annoying. Okay, I'm gonna stick the TC up. See if I can get back onto the back of this crossbow. Focus curve. Right.
You're halfway through. Keep pushing.
Can I get him under
Car on
braking?
the left. Clear on the left.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna get a warning there. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't reduce my SA. Has that gone up? I think it started at 53. I do think that's one of the things I absolutely love about this new GT4 pack, is that you can race much harder. You can push these cars really quite hard compared to the GT3 cars. They're obviously slower, but you really feel as though you're muscling these things around the track. Whereas you do have to have a lot more finesse with the GT3s, I find. I do wish they'd had these in from the start
Well
with
done, mate. Personal best.
ACC, because it's the ideal place to learn.
Car on the left.
A lot of the GT3 cars are quite unforgiving for a newcomer, but these are perfect. Kind of came at the right point for me with my journey up from Kartcraft through AMS2, and then the GT4 was released just as I was coming to the end of that journey. Now it compromised me again.
Car on the right.
I don't know if he's being defensive or what.
Clear on the right.
Just around the outside. So stable through there. That's a killer chicane with other cars. Oh no, no, no. Because this car can handle the curbs, I can take this in a higher gear than I might normally do. Okay, so we're going to see this. I'm going to be in the slipstream here. I'm in the slipstream. I It's just pulling away. That's the ballast.
Well done, mate. Fastest lap of the race so far.
I do believe there's too much weight on these cars. I don't know if that's Kunos making that decision or is it the FIA.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
But it's just
Car
not
on the
racy
left.
enough on the straights. And you can really feel the weight of the thing. It's not weight, it's not planned weight, put it that way. It's not weight that it was designed for.
Clear on the left.
Right, let's see if I can keep it on his tail. Gonna compromise me here. Maybe I can stay on his tail and get into this corner.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
You do have to change your driving
Car on the
style
left.
here with this car,
Clear on the left.
or at least I have had to. It's actually quite a learning experience. It's forcing me to find other passing places than I would normally use.
Leaders on final lap.
Okay, one more lap. Wow.
We've got some light damage on the front of the car.
Apologies, I've just noticed that the camera's turned itself off.
Car on the
I'm
right.
having enormous problems
Clear on the right. Car
Just-
on the right. Clear on the right.
recording myself at the moment, which is really frustrating given that I'm actually a photographer. And here we go. Can I get somebody else?
Car on the left.
Hanzai.
Clear on the left.
That was a move. Absolute move.
The leader has finished the race.
Is there space to get someone else? Doubtful.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. The right race is over.
Still,
Good job,
12th
mate. You did
from
your
the
best
back.
to bring it back to the
Isn't
pits.
bad. So, sorry for losing the camera there. I think there's some kind of either overheating problem or time limit on what this camera will film. Possibly I'm filming at too high a frame rate or something like that, so I'll have to check all of that. So apologies for losing the green screen of me halfway through that race, but I'm back. Let's get on with it. So I hope you enjoyed and got something out of seeing what the KTM air crossbow is like. It's incredible. I love it. I just don't think I could race it, certainly not online, with the current balance of power problems it's got. It just has too much momentum coming through corners, and you just want to drift out of the track limits. So it's not working for me. Like, I have to say, I have grown to love this track. I didn't know it very well, and the first time I drove it in ACC, I really didn't like it. Over the course of making this video, I have come to absolutely one of my favorite tracks now. Just such a wonderful flow through it. Really enjoy it. So it's actually been quite fun, technical issues aside, to make this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give me a like. If you like the rest of my stuff, please do consider subscribing. And don't forget, we have a podcast. We've got another episode due soon, either at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. You can catch us, just search for Clod of War on your favourite podcast platform. We're probably there. And I am on Twitch. I haven't been on for a couple of weeks, but hoping to be there this week. So just keep an eye on our Twitter, which is now. And I'll post up there when I'm about to go online, most likely playing Halo with my daughter, because that's a huge amount of fun, and we just finished Halo Reach streaming to Twitch just a couple of weeks ago, and it was immense fun. So, yeah, with all that said, thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe, stay happy, and goodbye.